Alright, hey guys, how's it going? I'm coming back at you with another fire loadout. Now recently, I just did one, I want to say a few weeks back, and I wasn't really that happy with it. I had just switched to fire, and I had used the loadouts I had in that video in a couple raids, and performed really well, but it felt like something was missing, something wasn't all there. So I took a lot of time, updated it, really took advantage of the double artifact XP, and added in some new artifacts into the single target loadout in particular, and switched some other ones around that I think really complement each other nicely and complement this power really well. So let's get right into it. I have full elite gear except for my back piece because I don't feel like spamming the solo anymore. Overall, it's nothing particular. Escalating might, volcanic calamity. I normally have the supercharge one for the chest piece, but I put on additional damage just to try it out. I don't know if it actually makes too much of a difference. And then I have empowered channeling specifically for the single target loadout. But if you have solar amplifier maxed out, obviously you could put on whatever. Speaking of our artifacts, for this AoE loadout, I have strategist card, transformation card, and solar amplifier. I don't have any of them maxed out. They're all 160 or above. So obviously, if you have them maxed out, this loadout is going to be hitting a whole lot harder than me. My might right now, 219,000. In static shock content, it's 230,000, I think. It's pretty fair. For my allies, it's nothing too special. I have Shazam because he's the highest damaging AoE ally, as far as I know. And then I have Batman. You can kind of use anyone for this. A lot of people like Batman, he laughs. I'm probably going to put Zod in there when I open enough time capsules, but he just came out like yesterday. And then I have Cyborg just for power stuff. Again, you could put in a might ally. Totally up to you. For skill point allocation, I got one in flight. For iconics, I have one in amplified heat vision, robot sidekick, and then Neo Venom boost. Neo Venom boost is not required for this loadout. I know a lot of people like using it, and a lot of people like using word of power, whatever supercharge you like to use, totally up to you. And then for my stat points, pretty average. I only have 282, and I'm still putting out some pretty good damage with these loadouts. So, speaking of which, let's get into the loadout. So, if you watched my last video, the start of the loadout is fairly similar. It's the ending that's the big sort of change that I feel like really brings it together. Something that I was missing in that last fire DPS video. So to start off, we got Inferno and Stoke Flames. Pretty common to be put together. And it's really nice with Strategist card. It adds 2 different burns. And you'll see later with Amplified Heat Vision, that's a 3rd burn on these targets. So Strategist card just goes absolutely crazy. It's very nice. You're going to want to clip these 2 together. So you start off with Inferno and then Stoke Flames. And then you're going to do Fire Burst after that. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a charge power. It takes a second, but it does some major damage. Then you have Wildfire. Wildfire is really good. I think in my last loadout I used Flashpoint, and you could use Flashpoint in this too if you're wanting to be more up close and personal with the ads. Maybe for just running dailies or something, Flashpoint might be better, but I think overall in raids and alerts, Wildfire is probably the one you want to go with. And then I finish off with Amplified Heat Vision. And Exabyte attuned robot sidekick. Now Amplified Heat Vision is a pretty important part of this because it adds that 3rd burn. So you're going to need to have your solar amplifier to at least, I think, probably 160, because you add that extra burn enemies near your target, making them vulnerable to burning effects, which is what we like, which is what we love to see. So, all right, well, enough talking. Let me show you this in action. Alrighty, so let's take it. Can I get out of combat, please? Oh my gosh. Whatever. Let's take a look at the numbers here. So, as you can see, it starts off kind of slow. You're getting the burnout. You're getting these enemies burning. You're getting your strategist to proc, and then it really starts to amp up later. As you can see there, our highest number was 3.2 million. I think that that's fantastic with no art swapping, not precision or anything. I think that's really good, and we kind of stay in that range for the most part. We get 2.9, 2.8. It does dip down every once in a while if you get really unlucky with your strategist card. But obviously, if you got it leveled up to 200, you're increasing the potency, so you're going to be hitting even harder. So that lack of proccing, the extra potency kind of makes up for it. Now, I realize that not everyone has Solar Amplifier. A lot of people don't like using abilities outside of their power, and that's totally cool. If you don't have it, where is it? There it is. Flame Cascade is probably your best option. You're going to use that like 2 or 3 times and then go back into Wildfire and continue the rotation. It's still essentially the same rotation. You're just adding in Flame Cascade. All right. Cool stuff. Now, on to the single target loadout. It's all the same gear. Nothing really changes. The artifacts are relatively the same, except I swapped Strategist out with E-Bonds. Now, unlike in the last loadout, in the AoE loadout, Solar Amplifier is not entirely necessary for this loadout. If you want to put in Strategist card, totally cool. If you want to put in Lerna's, totally cool. I'm sure your troll will hate you, though. But the main one in this one, and the main new addition compared to my last video, is E-Bond Shadow. Now, I managed to level this up during the double artifact XP. I got it to 80, and it's, you know, it sucks at 80. Most artifacts do. I got it to 120. I was kind of feeling a little bit more. It wasn't the best. I got it to 160 here. I'm loving it. I think it does really well with this loadout. So, for the allies, got Crypto. He's the best single target boss damage ally, and you're mainly going to be wanting to use this artifact against bosses. Anytime there's a boss, pop this loadout on. It's great. Still Batman. Still probably going to change it with Zod when I get him. And then I have Shazam for giving that extra damage when I call out Crypto, which is normally at the start of fights. So you're getting that big boost of damage right off the bat. As for our skill points, I still only got 1 in the flight, none in the weapons. You can put however many on your weapons. It's okay. I have Heat Vision, Freezing Breath, and then the Robot Sidekick. And then same skill point allocation there and the stat points. And then here we go. It's a little different from the last loadout, so let me go through it. You have Amplified Heat Vision. Again, if you just have normal Heat Vision, if you want to use something other than Solar Amplifier, it's totally cool. Solar Amplifier is not necessary. I just like it, and from a lot of testing, I get more damage with it than Strategist in the single target loadout, because there's not as much burn going on. But if you test and see otherwise, totally use that. I'm sure it works great. Then I have Absorb Heat. Self-explanatory. It heals you. Burning enemies take more damage. Heat Vision puts burning. Fantastic. Freezing Breath. Now, Freezing Breath is mainly here because of E-Bonds. Now, E-Bonds gives you extra might for every stack. This gives you, if you let it do the full animation, it gives you 3 stacks. Now, we're not going to let it do the full animation. We're going to cut it off after 1 or 2 ticks because we don't want our power to absolutely plummet, you know? And then we go to Snuff Out. That's our finisher. That's what resets all the stacks of E-Bonds. It's pretty nice. So basically what you're going to want to be doing is Amplified Heat Vision, Absorb Heat. Then you want to do 1 or 2 ticks of Freezing Breath. Go back to Amplified Heat Vision, Absorbing Heat, and then you're going to skip over Freezing Breath and go to Snuff Out. And that should have you roughly at around 9 or 10 E-Bond stacks that you're going to be resetting. So you're getting the max amount of stacks you could possibly get without being, like, you know, a nuisance to your team or out of power. Then you got Robot Sidekick, getting that passive damage. Really nice. I have Volcanic Calamity. I don't think Fire has the best supercharges in the world. There's no, like, Entomb or anything. You could totally use Fireball, Cascade, or Barrage, excuse me. The only problem with that is you have to get in close, because the farther you are, the more chance that the projectiles are going to miss, which I'm not the biggest fan of. but it is a good supercharge. It's decent, you know. And then as for why I have Volcanic Calamity instead of like Neo Venom Boost or something, I don't know. I'm just messing around with it. You guys can put whatever you like. But all right, enough talking. Let's get into it and take a look at the numbers here. Alright, so as you can see, it's all the numbers past that little one-hit thing. Starts off slow, starts to amp up. It likes to stay around the 1.3 and 1.4 range. I have gotten up to like 1.6, 1.7 against sparring targets, and obviously that can go much higher with the troll debuffs and all that fun stuff in the actual raid. I think the numbers are really good. You just have to be very careful with freeze breath, not overdoing it, because if you do the full animation, you're probably going to proc all your stacks a lot sooner than you want to with Ebon. So you want to be careful with that. But overall, I'd say that's about it. I think this is a big improvement over the last fire DPS. Don't even look at that video. Don't even look at it. I might even unlist it. I don't know. But I think this is a big improvement. The numbers are way better. I think the artifacts are better utilized. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Let me know if there's anything I should change around, or if you use the loadout, what you think of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Take care, guys. I'll see you around.